Coach Patricia earlier about just your transition to the pros, and he mentioned the transition from Rutgers to Ohio State. And I'm wondering what comparisons to this shortened off season can you take from that experience of going from one program to another and kind of hitting the ground running?
Definitely, the transition is just getting to know the guys in the locker room. And, I'd say the vets here are definitely, they welcome all the rookies with open arms. And the transition in the locker room was definitely great. And then on the field, things just happen a lot faster, and just having more urgency in my sets and in the run game and being more efficient with that.
You have been taking a lot of the first team reps. How has that experience been through a week of practice? You mentioned things being faster. Has it been eye-opening in any way?
Yeah, it's definitely been eye-opening. You get to see what the talent is in the NFL and being a professional now. And, you get to go against veteran guys like Danny Shelton and Nick Williams, and, to see how you match up against those guys. And I definitely feel confident in my game to be able to handle anybody.
You guys have other questions, go ahead and submit to your chat. Mike Rothstein.
Hey, Jonah, how are you? I want to follow a little bit on Justin's question of when you made the decision to go from Rutgers to Ohio State, did you anticipate a big jump? Because obviously you played Ohio State at that point. And what was that like then for you?
It wasn't too crazy of a transition because there was a lot of similarities between the programs, and, the coaching staffs had ties. So the culture-wise and everything, it wasn't too much of a difference. Definitely going against, you go against guys in practice that are going to be playing on Sundays with you eventually. So that's a good matchup, and being able to go against those guys, you definitely feel more comfortable on Saturdays.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Tim?
Hey, Jonah, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Hey, just curious, you talked about that transition playing at Ohio State, but how about playing next to a guy like Frank Ragnow and a guy like Big V? I mean, those are two guys that have been in this league a while. They've done it at a high level. How much easier is that transition being kind of sandwiched between two guys like that you could learn from?
It definitely makes life easier, just being able to break down the defense's fronts and everything, and being able to process things faster. And, you have a brilliant guy in Frank, and he's able to point out all the calls and stuff. I'm also playing center too, so I'm there processing it as well. But being able to have that comfortability of somebody next to me that knows everything that's going on, and being able to go from there. And then with Big V, he's a veteran guy. He's won a lot of games, so he helps me hone in on my craft and become the best player I can be.
Ken Brown.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hello? Yeah, I think you got me. Just want to ask you, what is good? Sorry, I'm going in and I don't know if you answered this question, but what is the main difference, let's say, between a real good college lineman and your pro lineman that you're going up against now on the defense? What is the differences that you see?
I'd say a lot of it goes in with the hand fighting and striking. A lot of it is, you got to get your hands on them, and you got to be able to keep separation and stuff like that. And guys at this level know how to beat that and work their way around that. So just honing on them and on my technique and beating them to the point before they can get me.
Okay.
We'll go Rothstein, Ben, then Carlos to wrap.
Yeah. Hey again, Jonah. What was yesterday like for you? Because you're a rookie coming in the NFL, you're experience everything for the first time, and then something unprecedented happens yesterday. What was that? What was yesterday like from your perspective?
I definitely say it was a great experience, being able to hear the different perspectives on things and guys from different socioeconomic backgrounds and stuff like that, and being able to hear how they feel on it. And, it was awesome to see the veteran leadership in that room and how we went about the whole process and how we handled things in the organization with the matter that's going on. I'm definitely proud of this team for that.
Was there a specific moment or specific person you talked or anything that really stuck out to you, or, that you thought about when you got home last night?
Yeah, definitely. One of our teammates has said, he has to be worried about driving around because he has a different license than his tag on his car says. And, that's just terrible. People have to drive around having to have that worry of being pulled over and having an issue and something can spiral out of that, maybe not, but there's just always that constant worry, and we don't ever want anybody on our team or in this country or in this world to have to deal with that issue.
Thanks, Jonah. Appreciate it.
Ben?
Got kind of a two-parter here. I was just kind of wondering what the transition from college offensive line coaching to NFL offensive line coaching has been, like the main difference in that first week, and just what it's like to work under someone with as much experience on the inside of an NFL line as Hank Fraley.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Fraley has a lot of similarities in my former coaches. So like his philosophy on the game, and it wasn't too much of a crazy transition to be able to understand his coaching points, but they're coaches. So they help you hone in on your craft and perfect your technique. And so I would say coaching is coaching. It's just a matter of what you do with it and at this level and how you're able to take your game to the next level.
Go, Carlos. Last question.
All right, sorry about that. Jonah, just 3 offensive systems in 3 years for you, especially this year with all the COVID stuff and not being able to have the OTAs and all the off-season work. Has it been a challenge to go through 3 systems in 3 years, or has it been sort of, has that changed, 2 schools coming into the NFL? Has that been benefit because you gotten used to being uncomfortable and having to learn new stuff quickly?
Well, definitely. I've actually been through 6 different, changes and through college and now in the pros. But, the scheme's a scheme. It's just a matter of being able to execute the assignment and doing it properly. You learn from your coaches. The coach help you install and help you understand the play philosophy. So, I wouldn't say it's too much of a transition if you're locked in and you know what you're doing.
All right. Thanks, Jonah. Thanks, everybody. We'll have Romeo Okwara up next.
Thank you, Jonah.
Go ahead, Justin.
Romeo, thanks for taking the time. Yesterday, you guys made a pretty powerful statement. Violence continued in Wisconsin over the evening, and I saw a lot of you guys were tweeting about that. How do you balance, I guess, the focus on football and what you're trying to accomplish off the field as you're coming back to practice today?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was just a time where we kind of took time to reflect as a team, come together and talk about the things that were going on over the weekend. And we just kind of came together and said we couldn't be numb to what's going on outside of the building anymore. We have to come together and just kind of express how we felt about it. And it was a great day of just kind of coming together. And at the same time, we still know that we had to come back to work today. And that's what we did today, got back to work on the field at practice.
Mike Rothstein.
I just want to follow on that, Romeo. Also, how are you? What yesterday stood out to you the most from all of those conversations?
Yeah, one of the big emphasis this year was just listening and just hearing stories from different players and coaches, whatnot, and just being able to come together as a team. And that's what we love about football and this sport. It gives people open space to kind of come together and voice their opinions and just speak about things that are going on. And I'm just so glad we have a team that's able to do that together. It's definitely a blessing. Was
there a moment throughout the course of the couple-hour team meeting or the conversations in the locker room after where it became clear that y'all weren't going to practice yesterday?
I guess after our conversations in the morning, it didn't really make sense if we were going to talk about not letting everything just go on normally. We felt like we couldn't go out there and make a statement and then just hop on the practice field. It didn't really feel right. So we felt like we had to take the day to kind of reflect and talk as a team and just kind of reflect on what's going on.
Thanks, Romeo. I appreciate it.
Justin again.
Football is always kind of viewed as like a brotherhood, I guess, because you guys are going out there and you're playing a violent game, and injuries are always at risk. You got to trust the guy next to you. With this bonding you guys have kind of experienced through this off season, does this team and this experience feel different than anything maybe you've experienced at different levels, whether Notre Dame or even here in the NFL previously?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually really interesting that one of the best bonding one of the best times we did bonding was on Zoom calls, and we got a lot done in the spring on Zoom, just coming together as a team regardless of the circumstance. And just being back in the building, you're able to see that brotherhood and the work we did in spring kind of carry forward. And that's something I love about this team.
What has it been like to experience this with your actual brother? I mean, to go through these moments in the locker room and through the Zoom calls. Yeah,
absolutely. It's been amazing. Just being able to kind of teach him, kind of show him the ropes. Whenever he asks questions, which he has a lot of questions, being able to answer them pretty quickly because we live right next to each other, and just kind of being in battle with my actual brother it's really amazing.
Ben?
Just kind of building off of that, I mean, kind of a football, like how you've been able to kind of help your brother through this first week, I mean, coming off of his injury and just coming into the NFL just like that, what's the best advice you've given him through this first week, just seeing life at full speed like that?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting year for rookies because usually we have all that time in the spring with OTAs and mini camp to kind of hone in on our techniques and kind of give you like a good intro to the NFL. Going against professional athletes, and with that not being the case this year and missing that opportunity, it's like a lot of people playing catch up. So just trying to expedite that process as quickly as possible because football's coming really, really soon, and we're going to be strapping up to play the Bears in a couple weeks here. So just trying to expedite that process for him, get over that learning curve as quick as possible with whatever questions he has.
Thank you.
So Kyle next.
Hey, Romeo. Thanks for your time. I got disconnected there for a second, so I apologize if you've been asked this, but what's the biggest difference about this defense this year as compared to previous years?
Yeah, I think we're learning at a much faster pace. This is the third year for a lot of guys under the system, and all we can do is build off of those previous years, and we should always see improvements. So each and every day of practice, we're just working on holding our craft even more, and trying to blend in with the new guys on the team too, and just kind of build that brotherhood together and build that camaraderie.
Obviously, this is Matt's defense, but what changes or differences? What kind of imprint has Corey Unlin had on what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. I mean, he's brought another element of energy to the defensive group, and it's been amazing just seeing him and Coach Patricia work together. They definitely have different types of energy, but it's great being able to learn from the both of them, and I think we're going to put a good product on the field today.
Got time for one more, guys, if anyone has one. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Romeo, I'm going to jump back in here. Taylor Decker was talking yesterday and had said that I believe that I'm getting this correct, that you were the one who actually told him he had a headlight out. What was that, I guess, conversation like? And when he was telling the story, it made it sound like in some ways, and I just want to get clarification, you were the one who was telling the story that your mom calls every day when you get home. Is that you? Or
no, I wasn't telling the story, but he was just using that in reference to other stories guys were telling, because he had his headlight. I was driving by him on my way home, and so I just texted someone to let him know.
Okay, yeah, just it was a little bit confusing, so just want to make sure that got that clarification correct. And what was the reaction that you got from other people, either friends around the league or family members from yesterday?
I mean, I think it's been all positive, mostly. You're definitely going to get both sides from. I mean, everyone has an opinion on social media from behind the screen, but I think it was all positive. A lot of teams don't really take time to do things like that, and I thought it was really, really impressive, and really proud of the way the team got together yesterday and kind of came together and did that.
Thanks, Romeo. I appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks, Romeo. Thanks, everybody. We'll have Jahlani up next, guys.
Thank you.
Romeo.
curious, obviously this is Matt's defense, but there's new leadership with Corey. I'm just curious where you've seen some changes this year when it comes to the defense and how it's being coached.
It's just he's trying to just make sure that we practice about the little details that we got to fix up that we struggled with last year. He's an aggressive coach. I like the way that he comes to practice every day and has that energy. So I'm really excited to hit the field with him every day whenever he's in the building. So he's just a great guy, great coach so far, and I'm just excited to go to practice every day under him.
How do you expect the way you guys play defense to change with Corey? I mean, what are his fingerprints going to be like on this defense?
I don't know. I just know that everybody on the defense just wants to play ball. It's just going to be traditional football, basically. His job is basically to prepare us, and our job is just to perform. So he's doing a great job so far during camp, and I'm just excited that we're getting closer to week 1.
So Tim, next.
Hey, Jahlani, good to see you again.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Hey, obviously we know players entering their second season, just the comfort level, and you usually see the increase in production. And then when you add, Reggie Ragland and Jamie Collins Sr. to the mix, 2 guys that have done it at a high level, just what's your expectation for that linebacker group? And what have you liked so far about the mix of players that you have there at that position?
Well, our expectation is excellence. We want to be the best linebacker group in the league. And having those vets, that you have Jamie, who's played in this defense basically his whole career, and then you have Reggie, who just came off a great season. They bring that wisdom that us younger guys, second year rookie, Julian, they bring that wisdom that we need, just so we can pick up those little things where we can see the bigger picture when we're on the field. So it's pretty exciting getting to see their energy throughout training camp. Reggie's a standout guy. He'll make plays and just joke about it, and when you just see the way he moves, him and Jamie as well, when you see the way they move, they don't waste any movement. So it's just, I'm trying to make sure that I adapt to how they do that.
Just a quick follow-up too, just entering your second season too, where's your comfort level at, and can you even compare it to where you were at this time last year to where you are now? Where do you think you're a better football player?
I mean, I'm not going to stand here and say I'm comfortable. You never should feel comfortable. You got to play everything's on the edge. But so far, just being able to play everywhere like I did last year, play on the edge, play inside, know the defense. That's the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure I focused on this year, and I made sure to set that goal. And so far, learning the installs have been great, especially having our linebacker group. So I'm really happy that we have Coach Ty and the rest of the linebacker core.
Justin.
Hey, Jahlani, good to see you. You did kind of allude to it a little bit there. You did play in a lot of different spots as a rookie. Bringing in a guy like Jamie Collins, who's done that for so many years, what kind of asset has he been to you through this offseason as you're familiarizing yourself with the nuances of this defense?
He's been a huge asset. Like I said before, my biggest thing last year was I had a lot of wasted movement, and that caused me to miss out on plays. And just watching the way Jamie plays, if he don't have to step, he doesn't step, and everything the ball just somehow attracts to him, and that's just something that I want to adapt to, and just get my eyes right so I can become that kind of player.
And you did end the season last year with an injury, pretty serious one. Just wondering how that impacted your off season and how you wanted to train this year. And it doesn't look like it's bothering you now. Are you 100% at this point?
Off season was great. Right now I'm just taking the day at a time. I'm not gonna overthink anything. I'm just gonna go out there and play full speed. That's all I can do.
Kyle.
Jahlani, I wanted to ask you about the running backs. The team did a lot of work at that position in the offseason, brought in some new guys. The linebackers get a pretty close look at some of those guys and some of those drills you guys are doing. Just curious what you've thought of the running backs and trying to cover those guys.
Oh, I mean, they're here for a reason, you know. We got a bunch of great backs. Starting off with Carry On, you know, Carry On. Not only is he a great like route runner, and but he'll sit back there and he'll put his body on the line to protect anybody, you know. So it's a great opportunity to like just basically practice against the best. So everyone in that group has been performing pretty well, and I'm just glad that, you know, we haven't taken that step back. So today was an awesome day to really run those one-on-ones against them. And I mean, if you were out there, it was pretty fun.
What do you think of DeAndre Swift? It's pretty good, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's a little shifty, but yeah, he's a great teammate, and I'm truly glad that we have him on our team.
Go one more, Mike.
Yeah, I've got a couple for you. Actually, I want to follow on Swift. What's it like to have to defend Swift on a receiving route?
I mean, it's just like covering any back, you know, like, you know, he's very dynamic. But I mean, he's here for a reason. I mean, we picked him up early, and it was for a reason. And I know that Matt Patricia and the whole staff brought him here for whatever it is, and he's been performing to that level. So I don't know. It's just I just expect all our backs to be great, and so far he's doing that.
And walk me through what yesterday was like for you.
It was unbelievable. You know, like all I can say, it felt like a movie, and it was so awesome that we stood united together. And I'm really grateful that Coach Matt Patricia gave us that platform to step out and you know, bring awareness to what's going on in our world. And I'm glad that we have the leaders in our locker room who stood with us. And yeah, it's just a really major blessing for us.
If I can slip in one more, you say it was like a movie. Was there one, not to kind of play that out, but was there one scene or one moment or one part of yesterday that really, when you looked back at it, maybe last night or this morning, felt like that to you, where you're like, yeah, wow, that's what impacted me, or that's what that felt like?
Just being in that locker room, you know, we really stood united. You know, it didn't matter it mattered who you were, what race you were, what color you were. Like we were united, you know. And just hearing, you know, Taylor Decker, hearing hearing everybody speak, and being allowed to speak on their behalf, you know, it was really awesome to just stand there and listen, you know. And that was the biggest thing that a lot of people were trying to like spread that message, is where we just want people to listen, you know. Don't like not to listen to try and respond, but just sit there and listen and grasp everything that we're trying to just spread. So if that was our message, I just hope that everybody just gets that out.
Thanks, Jahlani. I appreciate it, man.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Jahlani. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Jahlani.
Cool.